Okay, so today we're gonna dive into something pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
This idea of the persona.
Oh, yeah.
Have you heard about this?
Absolutely.
We're not talking about like the marketing term.
Right.
We're talking about
The psychological.
the psychology of it all.
Yeah.
So the masks we wear, essentially, the source material that we're looking at today dives into Carl Jung's work.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
that's
calls it a
great.
social mask.
Yeah.
And I think it gets really, really interesting when we start to think about just how much we actually identify with these masks.
Yeah.
Like, do we ever get to a point where we confuse them
Right.
for our true selves?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, how Jung identified this thing that we all do as humans.
Right?
You know?
Yeah,
We present different versions of ourselves to the world all the time.
totally.
I mean, think about how you act at work
Oh, yeah.
versus how you are with your close friends, or even the version of ourselves
Yeah.
that we project online.
Oh, my gosh.
It's almost as if we're all actors on a stage.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And we are all playing these different roles.
We are.
And sometimes those roles come with,
Yeah.
certain costumes,
Yeah.
certain ways we're supposed to behave.
Exactly.
And isn't it interesting, like the word persona
Yeah.
actually comes from
I love this part.
the Latin word for mask,
It does.
which I think is
It's so perfect.
really fascinating.
It is because it highlights that performative aspect of
Yeah.
the persona.
Right.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
Jung didn't view this as a bad thing.
Okay.
It serves a function
Right.
in society.
Okay.
Like, it helps us navigate social situations.
Yeah.
Like, it helps us fulfill roles and expectations. It helps us fit in.
Yeah.
And it's this balance between
Yeah.
our inner world
Yeah.
and the external demands that we face.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I think, you're talking about this balance.
Yeah.
That leads me to ask, like, when does the persona become a problem?
Right.
When does it go from being like this helpful tool
Yeah.
to like maybe something that's not so helpful?
Well, that is the key question.
Yeah.
And the danger is when we over-identify
Right.
with that persona, when we start believing
Yes.
that the mask is who we are at our core,
Right.
that's when we get into trouble.
Yeah.
And the source material highlights some of the consequences of this.
Yeah.
You can feel alienated from your true feelings and desires.
Wow.
You can experience burnout from constantly trying to maintain that facade.
Right.
And you can even face inner conflict
Oh, God.
because you're suppressing parts of yourself that
Right.
don't fit that mask.
Yeah. And I think we've all felt that pressure
Yeah.
to conform in one way or another.
Mm.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
What are some of the ways that people maybe unknowingly over-identify with their persona?
Well, one way it really shows up is in our relationships.
Okay.
We might prioritize the persona's needs
Yes.
over our own,
Right.
leading to resentment or feeling empty.
Oh, wow.
Think about someone who's constantly seeking external validation
Okay.
because their persona is built around achievement and success.
Right.
They might neglect their own well-being
Totally.
in the process.
Yeah.
Or someone who avoids conflict
Right.
at all costs
Yeah.
because their persona is built around being agreeable and pleasant.
Right.
This, over time,
Yeah.
can lead to suppressed emotions
Yeah.
and difficulty setting healthy boundaries.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
But I mean, couldn't you say that certain professions kind of necessitate
Oh, absolutely.
a stronger
Yeah.
adherence to a specific persona?
Yeah.
Like, say, someone in a leadership position,
Yeah.
they might have to project an image of confidence and authority,
Yes.
even if internally they're not feeling that way.
Exactly. That's right. And it really highlights this complex interplay between the persona and the roles that we inhabit.
Okay.
But it's not about getting rid of the persona altogether.
Okay.
It's about becoming aware of it,
Right.
understanding its purpose,
Yeah.
and recognizing when it might be hindering our authentic expression
Okay.
or our well-being.
So it's kind of like finding that sweet spot
Yes.
of adapting,
Exactly. But
so
also,
staying true to yourself.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Now, the source material talks about integration
Yes.
as a solution.
It is.
Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
Integration is about bringing the persona and our authentic self
Okay.
into harmony.
Okay.
It's like being a really good actor who can play a role convincingly
Yeah.
without losing sight of their true identity.
Yeah.
Imagine someone who works in a really demanding corporate environment
Okay.
where assertiveness is really valued
Integration might look like acknowledging that they need solitude
Okay.
and creative expression outside of work.
Right.
And they make sure those needs are met,
Right.
even as they're fulfilling their professional role.
Got it.
They're not suppressing those aspects of themselves.
Right.
They're finding ways to honor both.
I see that.
Yeah,
So we need to be aware of the masks that we wear
we do.
and find ways to express ourselves,
Yes.
authentically, even as we're going through our daily lives.
Yes,
Right.
right.
Fulfilling these roles and stuff.
Exactly.
You mentioned the shadow earlier.
Yes.
How does that connect to the persona?
Oh, the shadow is another fascinating Jungian archetype.
Okay.
It represents the parts of ourselves that we repress or deny,
Okay.
often the qualities that we deem
Right.
unacceptable
Right.
or undesirable.
Yeah.
And the shadow and the persona
Yeah.
are two sides of the same coin.
Okay.
The more rigidly we cling to a particular persona,
Mm.
the more we suppress our shadow,
Gotcha.
which can lead to inner conflict and a
Yeah.
sense of fragmentation.
Yeah.
But recognizing our shadow,
Okay.
integrating those hidden aspects,
Okay.
can actually lead to a more authentic and integrated life.
Wow.
It's like shining a light on those hidden parts
Yeah.
and reclaiming them
I love that.
as part of who we are.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's not about judging those parts of ourselves,
No.
but more like understanding them
Yes.
and accepting them
Absolutely.
as part of,
a wholeness.
who we are.
Yeah.
So the takeaway here, I think,
Yeah.
is that the persona is a tool. It's not our identity.
Yes.
We can use it consciously,
Okay.
strategically.
Yes.
But when we over-identify,
Yeah.
we risk losing touch with who we really are.
Absolutely.
It's like we get so engrossed in this character
Yes.
that we forget that we're an actor.
Yeah.
So I want to leave you with this.
Okay.
What masks are you wearing in different parts of your life?
That's a good question.
And are they serving you?
Yeah.
Or is it time to kind of take a step back
Maybe.
and reevaluate?
Yeah.
Maybe it's time to take a look in the mirror
Mhm.
and ask ourselves what's underneath
What is underneath?
that mask.
Love it.